As his wife started stuffing her clothing into a bag after throwing the little girls onto the bed, they screamed loudly. Her face was set in an angry scowl, as if she were prepared to confront the entire world. "The babies are crying. They need their mother," her husband, Mr. Sunday, replied softly. But Mirabelle responded with a chilly and harsh tone. "They are no longer my concern. I'm leaving you," she said, still filling her bag with her stuff without looking at him. Sunday pleaded, "Please don't leave. Stay if not for me, then for the sake of these innocent kids that God has given us." Mirabelle responded by snapping at him. "I didn't marry you to endure misery. Because you are unable to provide me with the life I desire. I'm done. Do not try to find me. Feel free to do anything with the infants. I don't give a damn. To be honest, I don't even care if they live or die," she said, pausing and twisting her lips in contempt. She then slammed the door behind her as she exited the home, zipping up her bag. Sunday and his wife had previously enjoyed a harmonious relationship. However, the day he was fired from his position, everything changed. Mirabelle had been threatening to leave ever since. She grumbled about everything. The simple fare they had to consume in the little space they moved into. Mirabelle never listened to Sunday's requests, which were made out of love as well as for the benefit of their 4-month-old infant daughters, Mia and Linda. The newborns were carefully embraced by Mr. Sunday as he held them in his arms. He rocked them back and forth until they gradually quieted down, despite their constant sobbing. Although his heart was heavy as he looked at their innocent faces, he spoke with a strong voice. He said softly, "I may not have the money to give you the greatest life. However, I swear that I will be the greatest dad in the world for you." The twin girls fell asleep soon after he continued rocking them gently. He was hungry and anxious the following day. Mr. Sunday woke up to two wailing infants, Mia and Linda, that needed to be fed, but he had no food or money. He didn't have time to feel bad for himself. He was forced to relocate. He was obligated to support. He rented a wheelbarrow after leaving his business career. After that, he went to the market in search of employment, carrying the infants in his arms. He started pushing heavy luggage for folks. There were a lot of people looking. Some people felt sorry for him. For the infants, some people grinned and put a few coins in his hands. With obvious worrying on her face, an elderly woman halted him and gently said, "You're doing a great job," before giving him 500 naira. "The children are the focus of this." Mr. Sunday thanked her with a slight nod. He then resumed his job. However, not everyone was nice. A loudmouth woman yelled and hissed, "Enjoyment master. You didn't think about responsibility when you were having fun in bed." Mr. Sunday heard her perfectly when she said, "Now suffered alone." Even though her remarks were painful, he remained silent. He didn't mind what other people thought. He was primarily concerned with the safety of his young daughters. Mr. Sunday came home after a long day of strenuous labor. He was content despite having spent the day caring for his infants and carrying large loads. He had made enough money to support his daughters. He talked to the pharmacist at a nearby pharmacy that night. He described his predicament and requested assistance in meeting his children's nutritional needs. The friendly pharmacist wrote him a list. It had some simple medications for infant care as well as powdered milk for babies. Feeling thankful, Mr. Sunday paid for everything and went back home. He kept working with the twins strapped to his chest day after day. He had no one else to turn to for help. He had no sisters, and his mother had died. He never voiced his exhaustion. Knowing that he could take care of his girls brought him joy. At first, he didn't think he could accomplish it, but he was now coping, and the children were well. As he exited with his wheelbarrow one Monday morning, he heard a recognizable voice calling out to him. Mama Sarah, an elderly neighbor, was the one. She approached and said, "Let me take the babies today. I'll watch over them until you return." Mr. Sunday paused. She added softly, "I want to be of assistance to you. Additionally, these children can't tolerate the heat from the sun. I'll see that they receive proper care." Mr. Sunday gave the infants to her and went to work after a moment of contemplation. Even though he was no longer under the pressure of carrying the infants about all day, he still felt uneasy in his heart. His entire universe was those girls. He had become incredibly close to them ever since their mother abandoned them. He would give his life to defend them. Everyone referred to Mama Sarah as being poor, but she had a kind heart. She cared for the infants with love. She gave them food, bathed them, and dressed them carefully. Mr. Sunday returned in the evening to find his daughters laughing joyously in Mama Sarah's embrace. He gave them a sincere grin of appreciation and brought them back to his house. From that day forward, Mama Sarah assisted him whenever he used his wheelbarrow to go outside. The two girls grew up knowing to people Mama Sarah, the woman they referred to as Mama, along with their loving father. Although Mia and Linda went to inferior private institutions, their father made every effort to earn enough money to cover their tuition costs and purchase all of their required textbooks. Additionally, he instructed them in being courteous, respectful, and diligent. The twins completed their community secondary education at the age of 18. Mr. Sunday was overjoyed. For their week and jam exams, the ladies studied continuously around the clock. Mia's jam resulted in a score of 355. Linda's score of 370 was even higher. Both of them were accepted to the same institution to pursue studies in medicine and surgery, but that was when the actual fight started. Mia and Linda arrived home one afternoon, smiling and thrilled. They ran to their father and gave him their printed jam outcome slips. "Oh, my daughters, you've done well," Mr. Sunday said with a smile as he complimented them. "I'm so proud of you. I can now stroll through the city with my shoulders lifted high," he said, pretending to walk like a big man. "My daughters will soon become doctors." His chest puffed out. Everyone laughed at the same time. The house was filled with happiness. But later, Mr. Sunday's grin vanished as he silently entered his room. He sat on the bed's edge, his heart weighed down by silence. He didn't have any funds, not even enough to support one of them. He was destitute. All these years of hard work, he murmured to himself as he dropped his head. "My girls have made it, but I'm unable to pay their tuition right now." He felt embarrassed, helpless, and as if he were drowning. "But no, I won't let money stop them," he said, tightening his fists. "I'll do anything. My girls must become doctors." Mr. Sunday got out of bed early the next morning, well before the twins awoke. However, he did not bring his wheelbarrow with him this time. He was fully aware that what he now required was much more than what the ancient barrow could offer. With deliberate steps, he approached the house of a rich guy in the area and requested a meeting. With his pajamas still on, the affluent guy gave him a wary gaze. "Why are you here at my house so early?" "Please, sir, I want you to take me as your houseboy." "I will do anything you say," Mr. Sunday begged on his knees. "Sweep your yard, wash your clothing, and prepare your meals. Simply assist me in enrolling my two girls in college. I will labor for you as a slave until they finish school." He told the wealthy man about how Mia and Linda were his life, the only happiness he had left in the world. The man was begged by him with all of his might. However, the wealthy guy replied coldly, "Training to students in medicine and surgery is no child's play. I'm not going to do it." Mr. Sunday got up and left silently. He went on from there. He visited for more affluent homes in a row. He begged on his knees, pleading to work in exchange for his daughter's education. But every time, everyone refused. After a long day, Mr. Sunday arrived at his house exhausted and shattered. He said little after returning from work for 2 days. He kept to himself. He was heartbroken. He wasn't sure of how to break the news to his girls that their aspirations may not materialize. However, he mustered his courage and summoned them into his room one evening. In a low voice, he said, "My girls, I apologize. I let you both down. I beg your pardon. When you were little, I made a promise that I would send you to the farthest reaches of the world to learn. However, I don't have enough money to send you to college right now." He attempted to maintain his composure, but his voice broke. To hold back the tears, he turned his face away and took a big gulp. "Daddy, there's nothing to forgive," Linda said softly as she stood up. "We know how much you care about us. Whether we go to university or not, we love you always," Mia said, adding, "We know you would have sent us even to the moon if you had the money." They both gave their father a big embrace, wrapping their arms around him. Mr. Sunday kneeled silently by his bed that night and began to weep to God, convinced that his girls were asleep. The agony in his voice was profound, but he spoke softly. "I beg you, God, help me. You have everything while I have nothing. My daughters merit this opportunity. Lord, assist me in getting them to school." He sobbed uncontrollably and pounded the floor with his fists. He trembled in the shoulders. Like a man drowning in grief, he prayed to God. Mia and Linda were awake. They could hear everything. It broke their hearts into a million pieces. Their father had been their rock throughout their lives. He never wept, never whined. Although life has been tough, he was crying and weeping because of them this evening. They buried their faces in their cushions and wept silently. There was a bit of calm in the home for the following days. Despite being unhappy, Mia and Linda maintained their composure. They made a daring decision. They postponed their acceptance and attended college. They had a strategy, even if it hurt. By the following year, they hoped to have a job, set aside some cash, and support their father. They went out one day in search of work. They eventually discovered one in a nice and respectable establishment after several rejections. Mia and Linda began working there right away. They treated customers with respect, served food with kindness, and greeted them with smiles. They were popular with customers, who gave them big tips. Their poverty was exploited by a few men. However, the twins remained firm. They wouldn't let go of their integrity. They were able to save nearly every penny they made. They would pray with their father and count their money at night. Sunday continued to pray for them incessantly. He prayed for God to bless the labor of their hands every day while kneeling. Mia and Linda launched their own little business after around 7 months of intense labor, frugality, and prayer. Even if it wasn't large, it was well organized, tidy, and spotless. They treated every customer like family and prepared delectable fare. Additionally, they promoted on social media. Soon after, clients began arriving in droves. The tiny restaurant gained popularity. At last, Mia and Linda were making progress. They kept putting away every cent they earned. They still had the desire to be physicians in their hearts. However, life followed its own course. But fate had other plans. After a hard day at the restaurant one evening, Mia was wiping the tables when she spotted a black suitcase beneath one of the seats. "Look, Linda, someone must have forgotten this," she said as she lifted it up. They were overcome by curiosity. They cautiously opened the briefcase and then stopped. A large stack of American dollars and a number of seemingly significant papers were kept inside. Linda's eyes widened. This individual must be extremely wealthy. They acted quickly. After they shut the suitcase, they brought it home. Mr. Sunday kept silent and nodded as he observed the girls. "You did the proper thing by bringing it home. The owner will undoubtedly be searching for it, so don't worry. This bag is too valuable to be misplaced." With the briefcase, the females arrived at the restaurant early the following day. They saw a man with a wealthy appearance standing beside a gleaming black car, looking concerned. As they got there, he asked right away, "Did you by any chance see a black briefcase?" When they greeted him, Mia replied, "Yes." As she reached into the bag they were carrying, she handed it over with care. It was clear that the man was relieved when he saw it. He grabbed the briefcase, got into his car, and sped away without saying a word, saying, "Thank you so much." At a moment's notice, Linda blinked. "At least he should have given us one of those dollars," she quipped. Mia laughed. "As a result, you want dollars now. I'll refer to you as Lady Dollars." They both laughed and entered the restaurant to start the day's work. They remained the only 2 employees on site. They were optimistic, but they didn't have enough money to recruit more staff. Each day brought us closer to our goal. The same person who had taken the briefcase earlier came back about midday, when the busy streets were being roasted by the sun. Although he was now driving the same gleaming vehicle, he wasn't in a hurry. He paused and grinned at Linda and Mia. He exited the car and said, "I'm King Jack. I would like to thank you for your honesty and loyalty." King Jack did not give them any additional funds, despite their expectant glances at one another, wondering if this would be the day it would ultimately get some more money. Thanks for watching. If this story has touched your heart, then you've just witnessed the power of love, sacrifice, and uncheckable integrity. Mr. Sunday, Mia, and Linda remind us that true wealth lies in values, not in possessions. Against all odds, this small family proved that character is greater than circumstance. Did this story inspire you? Leave a comment below to tell us your favorite moment from part 1. Share this story with someone who needs a reminder that hope still lives. Follow us so you don't miss the emotional and shocking turn of events in part 2. In part 2, prepare to be amazed. What happens next will change everything. Will King Jack's return be a turning point, or a trap? Will the girls finally get their shot at the future they fought for? The answers will leave you speechless. Don't miss part 2, a story of divine surprises, justice, and dreams finally coming true.